Hello everyone, this is Primadiva back again to talk about starter Pokemon and their patterns. But before I get into this, please be sure to check out the previous video I did where I discussed the grass type. So, fire type Pokemon. They have the most popular understood pattern, which is the Chinese Zodiac. All of the fire starters somehow found a way into this. Most are literally just a sign, but others like Fennekin and Cyndaquil are in the same families as some of those signs, such as foxes being related to dogs and mice being related to rats. Nonetheless, the Chinese Zodiac theory is still one of the most well-known Pokemon theories, and for a pretty damn good reason too. And because Gen 8 is so close to probably being revealed, what better time is it to discuss? But before I get into the video, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. And as usual, the artist will be credited as they should in the description. With that being said, here's my top 5 possible Chinese Zodiac fire starters for Generation 8. So, one of the most popular Chinese Zodiac animals that people have been wanting to see, including myself, is a snake. Now, there's multiple snake Pokemon, including the Snivy line, but never a fire type snake, which is a real shame because I think fire type would be a really fitting type. I found this absolutely amazing line by Greg Andrade. The first stage looks adorable yet tough in its own way. I love the little tongue sticking out. The colors are also really complementary to each other as well. The second stage is starting to look a little bit more tough, but in a more feminine way. It also looks more sleek, and I can dig it. Now, the final stage is what it's all about. I adore its sleek feminine design. The multiple snakes that resemble hair are just too freaking good. The hair on top, the extra teeth, the eyes, the chest crest, the freaking choker of all things. And the fact this line is clearly based on a Gorgon? God, it's just way too good. If Gen 8 had this starter available, I would pick it in a heartbeat. And luckily, the artist specified this line's type and abilities. Its typing is pure fire in the first stage, but after that is fire and rock, which honestly is the best combination for a design like this. Blaze, of course, being the ability, but their hidden abilities are Rough Skin and Steadfast. I personally think Rough Skin fits better, but Steadfast isn't too bad. Unfortunately, there's no stats or moveset stated, but I think high speed and good special attack, along with good attack, will fit to a T. As for moves it looks like it would learn are Flare Blitz, Power Gem, Flamethrower, Earthquake, and finally, Stealth Rock. So, Ponyta and Rapidash. Their horse is literally on fire. Very simple design, yet it works. Horse is another animal from the Chinese Zodiac that has not gotten a starter yet. And I'm sure most people aren't very interested in another fire horse because it might seem boring. But let me tell you, these designs by Dr. Crafty are far from boring. I'd love to talk about the whole line all at once, but let's look at the first stage first. It's just a cute little horse that is trying to be as tough as it can, but you can certainly already tell that it's bound for greatness. With its second stage, you can tell it's in its super cool, edgy teenage phase, where it's trying to impress everyone. I honestly love the personality you can just see by the design. And the final stage, oh man, it just looks way too cool. The motorcycle design of this entire line is so awesome, and this one is clearly the best. The edgy teenager phase has disappeared, and now it's cool and calm despite its crazy design. The fire, the steel type, the cool as hell wheels that are on fire. This line is crazy unique. I never would have thought to make a freaking motorcycle with a unicorn, but it works. It works so well, it's insane. Fire Steel is obviously the most fitting type, and it's also an amazing typing combo just in general. Luckily, the artist has included the abilities, stats, and even all the moves it can learn. Its ability obviously being Blaze, but its hidden ability is Speed Boost, which again is just a perfect fit. Its stats are fast with good special attack and good attack, and some of the noticeable moves it can learn are Heat Crash, Extreme Speed, Flash Cannon, and Heavy Slam. It even has its own signature move called Firestorm, where it spins in a circle, creating a flaming tornado that whirls into its foe. And it even has a chance to burn and a chance to boost the user's special attack. That's just a really good move. I'd love to go into detail about everything the artist left in the description, from all the line's stats to move pools to dex entries, but then this video would be too long. So I highly recommend checking it out yourself. So next is a rabbit, and if you've seen my grass video, you know I love myself some rabbits. They're just too cute. How can you not love them? Now, as much as I'd like to talk about this little guy right here, he has already gotten way too much popularity. So I want to focus on the less popular, amazing artists that deserve more praise. So instead, I'll focus on this line by Hopeless Paradox. So the first stage is really cute. I've always wanted to see a Pokemon based on the white rabbits magicians use, and the blue fire is a really nice touch. Fire starters are always orange or red, and I think some diversity would be very welcoming. The second stage is a solid transition. Nothing much else I have to say. Honestly, it's hard for me to come up with words to describe the second stages, since most are just decent at best. The first and final stage is what it's always usually about. And this final stage is definitely very special, being the first I've ever seen to have a gender difference, which I personally think is kind of unnecessary, but let's just judge them both anyway. So, the male one. It looks alright? I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan. The fire on its tail is just bigger, which I guess makes sense, but I feel like it should have been something different for the final stage. It also has a weird beard thing. I'm not sure what to make of it, honestly. Overall, the male one just looks alright. Now, the female one I like much more. I love the fire twin tails, and I think doing something like that is much better than just making a feature bigger as it evolves. I also like the clothing better. The male one just looks naked from the bottom, and that's uncomfortable. Will someone please cover this animal up? Overall, this line is still pretty unique. I love the mystical blue fire. It really fits with the magician inspiration. However, I wish the male final stage just looked less like a bigger version of the second stage and more unique like the female one does. Its first ability is Blaze, but its hidden ability is something interesting. It's called Phantasm, and it copies the ability of the Pokemon in the back. Just imagine copying an OP ability like Speed Boost or even Wonder Guard. Just like that, I mean, that's freaking crazy. The artist has given no stats, but I think decent speed and good special attack, along with decent special defense, would be pretty fitting. Moves I can see this bunny line learn are of course Flamethrower and Psychic, but also Calm Mind and Cosmic Power. So before writing this video, I was aware of Oxes, but never really thought of them that much. Until now, because Ox is also a Chinese Zodiac animal, and to my surprise, there isn't even a single Ox Pokemon yet. So making it the starter of Gen 8 is just the perfect way to solve that. Now, I did find this cool line by Fatmon, but it is kind of a mix of oxes and cows. But that doesn't matter a whole lot, because like stated earlier, not all the Chinese Zodiac starters are necessarily 100% that animal. They could also be in the same family like foxes and dogs. Anyway, let's look at the first stage. It's a cute ox/cow thing with a little bell. Not much else to say apart from that it's just cute. Now, is it just me, or does the second stage look like Pig Night? Got that whole don't mess with me buddy vibe. I think it's kinda cool. Now it's time for the grand finale, the final stage. A freaking Minotaur! That's right, which is also a first in the world of Pokemon. Now, if this Pokemon reminds you of a certain character from Overwatch, you'd be right, because the artist actually inspired it somewhat off Torbjorn, but mostly just a regular blacksmith. So, a Minotaur mixed with a blacksmith. Who would have thought of that? That's crazy unique. The hammer-like arm, the fire beard? This Pokemon is just really unique. It's also Fire Steel, which is the second Fire Steel in this video. It's an amazing combination, so it just makes sense. Blaze, as usual, is the first ability. However, its second ability is called Pyrotechnics, which converts normal type moves into fire type moves. There's no stats detailed by the artist, but this thing definitely looks like a tank, so I can see good HP, great attack, and good defense being its strongest stats. Now, while the artist didn't specify any stats, they did specify a bunch of signature moves. The first one is Scorchhorn, which the whole line gets, so it's not too strong. Only around 50 base power. It tackles the foe and may cause a burn, so it's pretty basic. But then the final stage also has a fire version of Stealth Rock called Firing, which is really cool. It also knows a move called Magma Gun, which has a 30% chance to burn and has a whopping 130 base power. And finally, it has a move called Fist Hammer, which only gets stronger the more defense boosts the opponent has, or if their screen's up, which it can also break. And now, onto the last Chinese Zodiac animal that has been unused. Sheep. You'd think that a fire sheep would be a perfect concept for a Pokemon, but oddly enough, it has not been a thing yet. So let's hope it could be in Generation 8. So without any hassle, I'll just get right into the line I'm going to showcase. This one's made by JessGrad07. So, the first stage, a cute little sheep that oddly looks like Flareon's cousin. And is it just me, or is this one giving me a bit of a redneck feeling? Onto the second stage. This one sure has a lot of fluff. And it has horns now too, which look really cool, along with the gem it has tucked away in its belly button. I wonder what that's for. And now, a very fitting end to this list with this absolutely gorgeous final stage. I mean, just look at it. It looks so mystical, yet sinister at the same time. It looks peaceful, yeah, but let's not forget about the little Sauron on top. And those horns, they look devilishly awesome. And according to the Dex entry, it sees with that evil looking eye. It can even hypnotize those who look too long into it. Isn't that just so cool? The fluffy tail with the beads looks super cool too. I'm a big fan of long majestic looking tails, and this one is definitely one of them. Finally, the rings around its arms and neck fit very nice to the aesthetic of this creature. And as you probably guessed, this wondrous creature is Fire Psychic type. And of course, Blaze is its normal ability. However, I can see Magic Guard being an even better fit. Regarding stats, I'm sure that this one would have great special attack, good special defense, and good speed. And finally, moves I can see it learning would obviously be Fire Blast and Psychic, along with Will-O-Wisp, but I can also see it learning Thunderbolt and Shadow Ball for some reason. I don't know. It fits with the Psychic type, I guess. Well, I don't know about you, but I thought this list was absolutely fire. Although the options I had were already laid out for me, it was finding the specific designs which was the most fun to do. Now, choosing a favorite was pretty hard, but in the end, I picked the snake one. What about you? Which one is your favorite one? Be sure to comment down below. With that being said, my name is Primitiva, and I hope y'all have a good morning, day, or night, and take care.